Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Stuart, and today we are going to be looking at NILE, BitNile holdings. This will be a little bit different than a typical stock or investment video that you might have seen in the past. The reason is I like to look at social trends, so what's happening on social media and the impact this has on stocks, and in this case on BitNile holdings. I'll show this in two parts. So first I'll just do a quick run through of the overview shared by one of our investment analysts. The second part is we'll dive into the social sentiment dashboard that we use to track stocks in real time. If you find this video useful, please like and subscribe. It'd mean a lot to me. Drop a comment below. I'll answer them as quickly as I can. Love to get some kind of feedback, your thoughts, things like that. And I will leave a link in the description to this as well as the social sentiment tool. Awesome. So why don't we get into it? Okay, BitNile Holdings. I won't jump into the company too much. If you're here, you're probably already familiar with it. We have a description of what they do. What I'm going to look at, as I mentioned, is what's going on with popular BitNile forums in terms of Stocktwits and Twitter. Those are kind of the two main ones. If you think about it, there's multi-millions of users who are engaging on that platform. So ones that it's really useful to keep an eye on. So in terms of what's going on with Stocktwits, so if you're familiar with Stocktwits, they usually have trending stocks, but they only show you the stocks that they deem are trending. If you want to figure out if BitNile Holdings is trending, the social sentiment dashboard will tell you that, regardless of if Stocktwits says it's a hot stock or not, because ultimately they control the information they want to show you. So the average daily message volume is 4,492. That's pretty substantial. If I think about it, if I look at the top 200 stocks, average daily message volume probably, in the high hundreds. So this means NILE's been quite active. There's a lot of people keeping an eye on it. And then the second thing I like to look at are impressions. So almost 2.5 million impressions in the last little while. And what impressions are essentially how many people see a post that has the tag of NILE. So this means that the more eyes or views or mentions that NILE gets, obviously it has better social backing, can build social momentum, and sometimes we see that ultimately affect volume and potentially price. The next platform I like to use, obviously, is Twitter. Knowing who the Twitter influencers are is quite important because anytime there's big accounts tweeting about BitNile, the bigger the account, the more people that are following, the more people that will see it. In terms of number of tweets and impressions, so if we look at impressions close to almost 7.5 million in 24 hours. That's significant. That would indicate, a trend. We'll take a look at the chart and see what's been going on, but that's a pretty significant jump. In terms of influential Twitter accounts, like I was saying earlier, so in the past 72 hours, this is significant. So 175 accounts with over 10,000 followers posted and had the hashtag NILE. People with over 100,000 followers, 17 of them, and then one account with almost 500,000 followers post about NILE. So again, this is something that, if you think about it, 7 million people see tweets in a 24-hour period about NILE. They're going to wonder what's going on, see some volume move, and might try to take action, whether they invest in it or trade it. Okay, so that's a quick overview of NILE. Like I said, let's jump into the actual dashboard itself and see what's going on. So super easy. You can either see what's trending just based on posts, the percent change, volume change, things like that. This is really the screener. But what I'll do just for ease of use is jump over to NILE. What I'm going to look at is the price as well as the impressions, and let's look over a weekly time frame just to get kind of a sense of what's been going on. So this is kind of the trends we're looking for. As I mentioned, impressions are quite important. So you can see here that the impressions, and this was back March 24th, so a bit of a longer time horizon, but March 24th, early in the morning before market open, look at this impression spike. So before market open, that's even before pre-market, kind of, we have 143,000 people have seen a tweet that has the hashtag NILE. Then 8 a.m. We're into pre-market at this point in time. 1.6 million are seeing tweets about BitNile. So you can see here in green I have the price. So this is starting off at noon. Obviously it jumped before, and then it pretty much ran kind of this time period here. So we're looking from March 25th all the way to March 28th. Pretty significant increase. Now it's interesting, again, you see a bit of a correlation with the number of impressions. Big spike here, price goes up, things kind of die off, and then we're down into here. And you can see price March 28th, you saw like a high of 94 cents. And let's see, this is as of today, we're down to 63. Which isn't great. So to be, let's say you invested back here, or starting to trade, 2 weeks ago in NILE, knowing that there's like a lot of momentum, social momentum around it, that'd be great from an upside. And then if you see it start to die off, that's kind of an indicator that maybe the momentum behind it and actual volume and price action might be changing in the other direction. Why don't we look at the 24-hour period for NILE? So again, obviously market's not open right here, but what we see is the price this morning, 65 cents. There's a bit of a spike kind of around midnight. This might indicate a bit of interest, so a jump from a few thousand posts to 60,000 posts or impressions. That might indicate something positive is happening, but you'd really have to dive into the tweets to get a good sense of if it's a positive or negative trend. What's interesting is we can actually look at the sentiment itself. So sentiment, obviously, positive sentiment, people are saying positive things about the stock. Negative sentiment, investors feel negatively about it. You can see it's kind of stayed in this range a little bit. A bit of negative sentiment here this morning. And as I mentioned, we can actually look at the tweets themselves. So let's see. People are talking short sale volume. So what do you guys think? It's company been in downtrend. Bitcoin now is not the miners. Twitter board meeting. Close to 68. See what the influential tweeters are saying about it. So 6 hours ago, again, this is why it's useful to actually see. So you look at the trend and then see what people are saying. So this person's just obviously tagging NILE because it's a hot ticker. People are following it. He just wants to get attention. Let's see. So green candles. This was 13 hours ago. So we're talking, the morning. Adding NILE again at 64. Not terrible. So, if it opened at 65, closed at 62, kind of trading in a channel a little bit. Let's see what else. Yeah, same thing. So, AMC, BB, IG, CI, SSD, GameStop, Apple, these are all big tickers. So this person just wants people to follow, like their content. So anyway, as I was saying, this is useful for seeing exactly what people are saying about NILE, which gives you a sense of the market. So essentially, if you combine The trend itself, so if we look at, let me go to 2 weeks. As I said, you combine the macro view of social trend, social momentum, that gives you great insight, and then layer on the specific tweets themselves. This gives you a great view of what's going on. So obviously, the street with 800,000 followers, they picked it up on the 28th. That would have been, at this point in time. So again, you catch the initial pop and impressions here. So you decide to trade it. Great, because now some bigger accounts start picking it up. And then, for instance, you see someone tweet about unusual call volume. That's another great sign. So you got the combination of more people seeing it plus increasing call volume, which resulted in this kind of run up here. So if you're currently invested in NILE, say probably depends when you got in. Take a step back, look at what's going on, keep an eye on the trend, and then see how it'll play out. So yeah, as I mentioned, thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this useful. Like and subscribe, leave a comment. I'll be more than happy to respond, and the links are below. Have a good one.